Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week, we're talking tonk. It's all about the Honky Tonk Man this week. We're talking tonk.
I'm the Honky Tonk Man.
I know so little about the Honky Tonk Man for someone that I've heard of forever. Like, if I had to describe, what do I know about the Honky Tonk Man? It's like, he looks like Elvis. He tries to talk like Elvis. He was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion until Gunther. That is it.
I'm the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, but we don't have the copyrights to that. But I knew the song.
Yeah, the song, and then I knew that he hit people with guitars. That
He
Jeff
sure
Jarrett
did.
stole.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett was like, I'm going to take that. On this podcast, we talk about a wrestler through 5 of the most important matches. And this week, of course, we talk about the Honky Tonk Man. Before we dive into it, you should, wherever you're listening, be sure to rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps us out tremendously as we continue to grow. Also, when you leave that rating, make sure you put your wrestling hot take in there, and we will read it during an episode. We're also rapidly approaching episode 200. So if you have cues you want us to, throw those in there as well. Hit us up on social media at Crossbody of Work. Do all of that.
You're so unbelievably a father without being a father. It hurts.
I know. My jokes are ready. I just don't have the house for the child to be in.
You also don't have the child.
That's true. But that's also part of it.
Screw the house. The child is the important part of the equation here.
Also, if you want lots of extra fun content, go to our YouTube channel at Crossbody of Work. If you're listening and watching there already, hello. Be sure to hit subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Be part of the movement.
I won an episode, guys. I just want to put that out there. I won an episode.
It's true.
According to a specific episode, I won.
According to Shooter World on YouTube, Javier won our last Take a Card, Make a Card. Go check that series out. It's a really fun series. I think it's our best concept we've come up with.
It's absolutely the best one. And
aside from
extremely stressful to do.
Aside from this podcast concept that we're now on episode 185 of. So
185. That's the amount of naps I took watching this man wrestle.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So Wayne Ferris is the Honky Tonk Man. That's his name, Roy Wayne Ferris. He began his career in 1977 working in Memphis. Go figure. He started working in Malden, Missouri first.
Malden? Like Malden, Massachusetts?
I guess so.
Shout out.
He wrestled alongside his training partner and former episode on this podcast, Coco Beware. They were training partners. Yeah.
Shout out to Coco.
Ferris then moved on to Memphis Wrestling in 78, originally working, as it says on Wikipedia, as a jobber to the stars.
It's fucked up.
He then would team with Larry Latham to form the Blonde Bombers. They were put together by Jerry Briscoe in Florida Championship Wrestling. The Bombers were then put with Sergeant Danny Davis as their manager when they came back to Memphis, and that is where our first match take place. It's the Blonde Bombers versus Coco Beware and Jerry Bryant, June 30th, 1979.
Jerry Bryant is the most white meat looking babyface I have ever seen.
Yes. I also want to talk about, because if you know anything about the Honky Tonk Man, he is an Elvis impersonator, so that means the black sideburns and the big jet black hair. He's very blonde in this match. It's so alarming. It's unsettling, even.
And he has they have weird facial hair that you can't really tell because it's also blonde,
it's so blonde.
And they are white men, so it just blends in.
It does blend in. It's very weird. I don't like it.
I only noticed it when they had a side profile. You could see they're like Colonel Sanders. Honestly,
that's exactly what my notes say. The synergy is real.
I was like, and every time I think of Colonel Sanders, I just think, no, you're on Colonel Sanders.
Blonde Wayne Ferris can't hurt you was my first note. He's not real. He can't hurt you. Also,
it's good because his name is Roy.
Sergeant Danny Davis has a helmet on and everything. He's really committed to the bit.
I'm so tired of Danny Davis being on these goddamn episodes.
This match sucks, right?
This match sucks. This might be the worst match of the bunch, and that's saying something.
By 1979 standards, it's genuinely it's fine. By 1979 standards.
Because all they do is target one arm.
That's what wrestling was.
Like they all just want to target each other's arm, and
Yeah.
they're just like arm wringer, and I'm holding it right here for a minute, and then I'm gonna do this, and now I'm holding it again, and now we're punching, and
Yeah.
now I'm holding the arm again.
I want to know your opinion of the setting. So this definitely is filmed on a soundstage. What are your thoughts on like the old school wrestling on sound stages?
Oh, I fucking love that.
I
I
do too.
love seeing things in stages. Like nothing was cooler than when the NWA started popping again with Power a few
Mm-hmm.
years ago. Back before they ruined the program. And when they had like LA Knight and Ricky Starks and all these other guys.
Yeah.
Um,
Before they lost the plot. Yeah.
yeah, they were in the studio, and it was really fucking entertaining.
Yeah, I do like having the fans still be part of it. Like you can still see some
Yeah.
crowd. I think what I like is the consistency of the arena. It's the same reason like I like NXT and I like Lucha Underground. Like they're different, but I do
It
like
works
the
when it's
consistency.
smaller.
Yes, it needs to be a small, intimate.
But it also, I feel like it has to be enclosed because I did not like the repeated Daily's Place episodes of
No,
Dynamite
I wasn't in
or
on
like
those.
the performance center shows. And obviously those have no crowds, so it's like a different thing.
Yeah.
But even if like Raw or SmackDown were at the performance center every week with the NXT crowd that they currently have, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm good.
What did you
Good.
think of Ferris's work in this match?
I couldn't really tell them apart very well. So I'm not entirely sure who was who for the majority of the match, unless their name was said. Latham seems to have a little bit of a hunch going, so maybe
bit.
that's how I was able to tell them apart. Look, he begs off of Coco Beware at one point here, like as soon as he tags it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Like
Ferris tags into the match.
Yeah.
And almost immediately is begging Coco Beware to not hit him.
Because that, as we're going to come to notice, is the Honky Tonk Man's biggest move, is the negotiation. He's like, no, please don't hurt me.
Whoa.
I know I said terrible things to you. In terms of actually moves that Ferris hits, he goes for an arm drag, but Bryant hits him with the one immediately after. So, like, that happens. Ferris runs Bryant into the corner. Latham tags in, does a scoop slam. This is after the baby faces, so Bryant and Ware run the match for the first half, probably.
Yeah.
And then there's just a little bit where the Blonde Bombers start to do some work. Yeah.
And then a little bit towards the end here, they start working Jerry Bryant over.
Yeah.
They target his back. They're just hitting clubbing shots. It's literally just a lot of, me, big man, crush.
The biggest thing that happens in terms of like a move is Latham hits a backbreaker that was fine.
It was a side breaker, actually.
Exactly. They called it a backbreaker. It wasn't a backbreaker. It was fine.
And then we just get to the finish. I don't want to do this anymore.
Is that Eric Bledsoe? I don't want to
just
be here.
There's just not much to it anymore. Well, that's what he tweeted out, and then he said he was at the salon or whatever.
Yeah, he said he was with his girlfriend and at the mall or the salon. He was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
They're just cutting the rig off. It's a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Coco comes to the heel corner for some reason on the outside, like he's on the apron, and just starts attacking Ferris. I want to say it is for no reason. The ref like pushes him back to his corner. And as that distraction happens, Danny Davis hands like a belt or some shit over to.
It's a belt.
Yeah.
But not like a championship belt, like a leather.
Yeah, like a literal hold your pants up belt. And the heels use that to clothesline Johnny Bryant, and they win.
They sure do. Not the recommendation of the week by a lot.
Not even close.
Where does this rank among worst matches we've covered on the podcast?
It's in the top 5.
It's up there.
Up there. Like I can't because
actually that would be a fun thing for us to do for episode 200 is go and rank the worst matches we've ever covered.
There are matches that have been bad, but like
short,
and that's fine. Like I think if you have a bad match and it's like 3 minutes, sure,
that's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This was 8.
Yeah, it overstayed its welcome. Ferris would head up to Stampede Wrestling in 1982, of course, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that's where the Honky Tonk Wayne gimmick was born. Of course, a spin-off Spin-off is a generous word. It's a ripoff of Elvis Presley. He had the slick back hair, sideburns, carried a guitar. He would enter the WWF in July 86, and he became the Honky Tonk Man. Made his televised debut on August 30th, 1986, episode of The Body Shop, which was an interview segment hosted by who?
Jesse the Body Ventura.
You would think that, but it's Don Morocco. He was introduced to fans at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center by Junkyard Dog on the final episode of WWF Championship Wrestling as a face. They brought in Honky Tonk Man as a face to start.
Well, like an Elvis impersonator? They thought that was a good idea?
Yes. It reminds me very much of the Kurt Angle thing.
What year was this?
1987. Sorry, 86.
So it was Vince. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Where he, like, oh, why wouldn't people love this? And then immediately people don't love this.
Pal, you don't understand, pal. Because you gotta make it a little lighter, the voice, because he's younger. Pal, you don't understand, pal. It's genius.
I like how Vince is kind of Kramer from Seinfeld when he's younger. You don't get it, Jerry. All right.
Just a little grovel.
He starts to turn heel, and right around this moment is when he really solidified as a heel. We are at the Snake Pit with Jake Roberts, February 1987. I enjoy wrestling talk shows, and I don't care who knows it.
You know, still to this day, you give me even like a Grayson Waller effect.
Yep.
I'm good. I'm here. I'll watch it.
Give me your top. Give me like a top 5.
Oh my
Don't
God,
have to be in
that's
order.
tough.
But I got highlight reel with Jericho.
Dude, I love the highlight reel.
I got Miz TV as the number 1. It's the longest running. I think it's the best. I think it has lots of moments. Piper's Pit up there. Barbershop
Piper's Pit is up there. Barbershop's up there. I think my number 1's going to be the highlight reel because
Okay.
I just love the highlight reel. I guess Miz TV has to be there just because it's there. Actually, no. You know what? I'm bumping Miz TV. Give me the KO show.
The KO show. What about Carlitos Cabana?
I was just about to mention Carlitos
Let's
Cabana.
go, Carlitos Cabana.
Piper's Pit and oh my God, there was a women's wrestler that had one. I cannot remember what it was called.
I'm gonna look up wrestling talk shows. You talk about the
This
segment.
is tough. Anyway, so my good old friend here, close personal friend, Honky Tonk Man, is on. He's in Snake Pit mode. Jake Roberts says Honky Tonk Man has the strangest name of any guest he's ever had. He just starts berating him like right away. Honky says that his mama named him that because he was bored on a pool table at some shady bar in Memphis, Tennessee. And he's scared of Damien. He's terrified of Damien, the snake. Honky says that he knows that the fans want him to sing. As he's getting ready to sing, he asks Robert to keep the snake back. He's like, if you keep the snake back, I'll sing. Robert says he wants Honky to make a complete idiot of himself and sing. Honky tells the fans to shut their filthy mouths. He then says, like right as he's about to start, Roberts holds the snake a little too close to his face, and Honky and Jimmy run right back out the exit. But it's like a little construction like studio area.
Yeah,
So
it's a set.
Around. Yeah, it's a set. So he comes back around the other side of the goddamn like little entry thing off to the side, right behind Roberts, who's screaming into the abyss about how much Honky Tonk Man sucks. And as he's berating Honky Tonk Man just comes around and hits him from behind with the guitar, and then just continues to repeatedly hit him with it.
This is a point of contention, we'll say. Because what did you notice about the guitar shot? The very first one. It doesn't break.
Hit him in like the shoulder.
It doesn't break. It thuds. Like it notably thuds off of Roberts.
He also like hit him like he doesn't hit him in the head. He hits him in like the side.
According to Roberts, Honky was supposed to hit him with a gimmicked guitar, like a balsa wood guitar, but believes that Honky Tonk Man accidentally grabbed a real non-gimmick guitar and smashed it across his back, legitimately hurting him.
Look, man, if you get your back messed up because someone broke an acoustic guitar on it, I think that just means you have to spend more time in the gym, brother.
I wanna push you around.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. Obviously, it'll hurt a bit, but like you're a wrestler, grow up. If someone like smashes a guitar or tries to break a guitar, or like an acoustic guitar on my back right now, it'll hurt. But I feel like I'm fine. I'm not gonna have a fucking hurt back.
According to Roberts, this started his dependence on prescription pain medication. In an interview,
No fucking way.
in an interview, alleges that he was picking pieces of the guitar out of his back for weeks after he was hit.
There's just no way. There's just no way.
Honky Tonk Man also does not agree with that assessment.
I do not believe that in any way, shape, or form.
The other ones that I can see in terms of wrestling talk shows, the only ones that I'm coming up with are like Café de Renee was a thing. Yeah.
Number one, book it.
Under the Covers with Sonny.
Is that the one that I'm thinking of?
Maybe. The Dirt Sheet with Ms. Morrison.
Oh, that was great. I love the
good.
Dirt Sheet, actually.
The Firefly Funhouse, which really isn't a talk show.
No, that's not a talk
It's more
show.
of a Moment of Bliss. Alexa Bliss had one for a long time.
That's the one I'm thinking of. When she would do it on the stage, too, which is pretty cool.
And the VIP Lounge with MVP.
Yep. That's up there. That's in my top 5.
That's
so it's
good.
that. I'm going to do that. KO show. Piper's Pit.
Ms. TV in the highlight reel?
Hell no. Highlight reel. And Carlitos Cabana.
The Ms. TV slander is unbelievable. Honky Tonk Man
Name me a memorable Ms. TV segment.
All of them. The ones where he talks about his balls. Their feud would culminate at WrestleMania 3. Honky got the ring ropes to score a tainted win. Afterwards, Roberts cleared the ring of Honky before he and Alice Cooper attacked Jimmy Hart with Damien. That is how their feud would end.
Bro, Alice Cooper? What the fuck?
WrestleMania 3 was a weird time, man. We're going to take a break. When we get back, the IC title reign of the Honky Tonk Man begins. Back from the break, it is WWF Superstars, June 13th, 1987. And it is Honky Tonk Man challenging for the Intercontinental Championship against Ricky Steamboat. This clip starts with Ricky Steamboat telling us to say no to drugs and do a natural high. What an earnest babyface. I absolutely believe him. I want to stay off drugs.
I wrote Steamboat's talking about say no to drugs, loser. I don't even do drugs, and I think he's a loser.
This is why, if people were to assume that we would have a breakup, that you're turning heel on me. It's shit 100%, like that.
100%. I have never, just listen, just for the people out there, this isn't a flex or anything. I've never even smoked a weed, but
I've never even smoked a weed.
But there's no, but anyone that's like, say no to drugs, fucking loser. All of you.
They've been doing the war on drugs, and honestly, I think the drugs are winning.
Like, don't do it. But also, like, don't say no to drugs. Just fucking don't do them, dickheads.
Honky Tonk Man is in his full, like, Elvis gear entrance jacket, and he needs to be legitimately peeled out of it. It is so weird. Like, Jimmy needs to, like, just yank it off of him.
It's
uncomfortable.
It's a look. Let me tell you something. It's a look. Honky attacks before the bell officially rings. He tosses Steamboat at one point here, who skins the cat, and when Jimmy Hart's about to attack him, he just boots him right in the face.
Yeah, he like head scissors him and then just like heel kicks him on the top of the head.
He like karate kick chops him, but with his foot.
And then he gets back in the ring, dumps Honky Tonk to the outside, and then hits a back suplex from the apron into the ring. I was like, God, Steamboat's so good.
Yeah, love him.
He's so good.
Check out our Ricky the Dragon Steamboat episode. It was a good time.
It was a very good time.
No bad matches.
That's true. No misses. Snapmare by Steamboat, drops a fist. Roll up out of the corner by Steamboat for a 2. Honky Tonk then sends him into the turnbuckle face first. Steamboat is underneath for a little bit.
He has an incredible sell job here at one point.
Yeah.
Where he just like is on his head. Like he's a fucking break dancer.
I believe Ricky Steamboat could breakdance.
Do you think that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Moose from Step Up 2 should have a dance battle?
I thought you were just meaning like Moose as in Moose of Impact Wrestling fame.
No,
And
Moose.
my answer for both is yes.
Well, Moose's iconic performance in the final dance battle of
It's really
Step Up
good.
2 in the rain, where he's just fucking getting it. I can't even recreate that, but that was like one of the 5 most impactful moments of my childhood.
If you had to bet money on a current wrestler to win a dance battle, who would you put money on? It's harder than you think, because like just being a good athlete does not mean you're going to be a good wrestler.
Define current wrestler.
They have to be active in a major company.
Like wrestling?
Yes. Why? Who are you going to go with?
CJ Perry.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a real. You know what? Yeah, that's
a dancer.
That's a good shout. My first thought was Bianca Belair. So
she's like not a former dancer.
no, but she like is just so athletic. I'm like, you could figure it out.
I mean, you would think, but have you ever seen Dancing with the Stars?
This is true.
Some of those pro athletes can't do shit.
But, you know, it would just be John Cena where he does this thing.
No, it'd be MJF where he's like.
That's true.
Or Adam Cole where he's just hip thrusting.
Yeah, but Adam Cole's gonna break his something if he does a dance competition. Makes me sad.
Boo, wow.
Boo.
Boo. Go home. Goodbye. Tomatoes.
DDT attempt by Honky Tonk Man. Steamboat reversed it into a back body drop. Steamboat with his drop back fist, like where he drops down and like, pah, which is a really cool move. And he hits one to the face. Does the chop off the top rope. Jimmy Hart with the distraction, and Steamboat gets the visual pin.
Yes.
The moral victory of wrestling matches.
Well, you know what they said. A wise man once said, moral victories is for minor league coaches. Dragon does a drop kick to Honky, who goes right into Hart, who is on the apron.
Yeah.
He then went for a small package because, you know, it's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But Honky uses the leverage by holding the rope, so he's not able to Dragon's not able to get the full rotation on the small package. And Honky just keeps holding on to the ropes. 1, 2, 3. The Honky Tonk Man wins the Intercontinental Championship.
I have a fun fact for you about the Honky Tonk Man's reign.
Is it the second longest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time?
How about the fact that it was never supposed to get that far in the first place?
Yeah, he like politicked his way into extending it, right?
Kind of. So initially, he was meant to be a transitional champion, hold the title for a short period of time, and lose it to Butch Reed, was initially who was going to win the title from him. And then when it wasn't Butch Reed, it was going to be Roberts. But Jake Roberts failed several drug tests following WrestleMania, and Honky became booked to remain champion for what would become a record-setting run. There is a long part of his Wikipedia page about how in an interview, Honky said that Hogan, who he had a friendly, collaborative relationship with, had helped give Honky a chance at the title. And then there literally was a meeting randomly between Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, and Vince. And Hogan was like, I think Honky Tonk draws, brother. And maybe that's why he had a long Intercontinental Championship reign.
Yeah, okay, brother.
But this is, at the same time, do you trust anything Hulk Hogan says?
No.
As we shouldn't.
Hulk Hogan is a liar. He's lied about the freaking Wembley thing like 14 different ways now. He lied about it this year.
Didn't he lie about Metallica? That he was offered a spot in the band?
In the band or whatever. It's like, Hogan, do you even play the guitar for him?
No, Terry Bollea doesn't, but Hulk Hogan does, brother.
Where does Hogan find the time? He's wrestling. What is it? He wrestled 500 matches in a year.
Yes, because he wrestled 500 days in a year.
Yeah, because time differences.
Yeah. Now, I have a offhand question for you. Obviously, this gimmick is an Elvis impersonation, right?
Yeah.
Modern day, is there an impersonator you'd like to see as a gimmick in wrestling? Like somebody impersonating somebody else? Because, like, my first thought, because they weren't an impersonation, but, like, 3 Count was just a riff on boy bands who were popular at the time.
Ooh.
But is there an impersonation you'd like to see as a wrestling gimmick?
Oh, yes. That one, like, cop guy, I don't even know if he's actually a cop, on TikTok who, like, makes those videos where he's like, person puts a gun to your head. Here's what you do. And then he like does the most comical, guy? It's not working. Yeah. I want a gimmick of that guy.
I was trying to think of like a celebrity who could be like And you know what I think would work as a gimmick?
It's Vin Diesel.
No, it's Tom Cruise. Like
No, because that's just Darby Allin.
No, Tom Cruise. Like what I mean by Tom Cruise is like the entirely blank stare, the fact that he's definitely run by like a shadow puppet organization, the like he has like lifts in his shoes, like shit like that.
That's literally just Darby Allin. I'm sorry.
No, but Darby Allin's a street kid from the streets, and he hangs out with
He's from
Sting.
fucking Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, but he's got the face paint on. He's got the skateboard. You know, he's also
Fine. It's like Jeff Hardy without drugs. So like, I don't know what to tell you here, mate.
What about Lady Gaga? What about Lady Gaga gimmick?
Lady Gaga, isn't that just technically like Tony Storm now?
Like yeah, that's Lady Gaga before she got like really weird. Like that's pre-meat dress Gaga.
I don't know. Tony Storm wrestled with her makeup all.
That's true. She was going through it. I'm actually very invested in Tony Storm's character.
Did you see that my favorite thing now in wrestling? She got caught on the hot mic saying instead of chops, she was like the titty slap.
I know that was intentional. Like I don't care if it was hot mic. I know that was on purpose.
Titty slap.
After that fun little aside, let's go to what I think is the best match of the week. Javier does not like. None of them are good.
None of them are good.
It's just an IC title defense from Saturday night's main event number 12, I believe. October 3rd, 1987. It's the Honky Tonk Man defending against the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The thing I will say about this match is that it is my favorite of his opponents.
Sure, Steamboat's a good opponent, but Savage is Savage.
Yeah, but I love Randy Savage more than Randy Savage is higher on my favorites, all-time favorites list.
Oh, the cream rises.
That's my guy right there.
Did you watch the promos that precede this?
Oh, did I watch the promos? Honky Tonk Man says he's going to beat Savage. And he's also going to take his woman. Because his woman, he never refers to her as Elizabeth.
No.
Like, it's always the woman.
The woman.
And she wants to be with a winner like him.
And like, Savage's promo is fine. Did you watch Sika's promo?
I did not watch Sika's promos. What does Roman's dad say?
So, there's Saturday night's main event would normally start with like clearly filmed on a soundstage promos where they put their name behind them or whatever. And there's one where, yeah, Honky says he's going to steal the woman. Savage says he's like good luck, pal, whatever. Sika has a promo where Mr. Fuji is kind of the promo for him, and Sika is legit eating the feathers and skin off of what I think is a live chicken. He's like ripping feathers out of its face. It's absolutely absurd, and I was not expecting it, and it was late at night, and I was like, that chicken's live. I hope it was dead, but
I hope it was fake.
I don't think it was.
It
was hardcore.
Get Joseph on the phone.
Honky Tonks Man, he has the best gear of the whole time right now.
Oh, he gets another promo.
Yes, he does have where people are here to see the real champion.
He says he's cool, cocky, and bad.
He continues to say he's going to steal Savage's woman. And then, yeah, it comes out in the white and gold gear.
The Honky Tonk Man walks.
It's a good look. If you're going to be an Elvis impersonator, this is the best Elvis impersonation.
He needs more capes. Needs more cape.
Oh, he does. He does need more cape.
What is your favorite Elvis ripoff? Of all the Elvis ripoffs, mine is Johnny Bravo.
Oh, that's good. When Charles Boyle is Elvis for Halloween on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Uh-huh.
And Captain Holt calls him Elvis Stoico.
There was what movie was it? I think it was one of the Saws, maybe. No, there's a horror movie where an Elvis impersonator takes a. Oh, it might have been a scary movie, where they take a dump and then they get killed.
That sounds like a great Elvis impersonation.
That was up there.
Savage has a really great line in his promo where he says that Honky doesn't know the difference between a guitar string and a G string, and that makes Gene Okerlund legitimately laugh. Like Okerlund's
I love when Gene cracks.
Yeah. Savage is also out here in the classic, what I would consider the classic Savage gear, the pink tights with
the,
the stars and the Savage and the yellow boots.
Yep. Which is incredible. It's the best.
It's the best Savage look.
This is a heated feud. It's gotten personal.
Mm-hmm.
Starts off with a lockup.
Collar and elbow tie up. I will say it at least has a little bit of oomph to it in terms of like they're like rubbing each other's faces. But it's one of our biggest pet peeves on this podcast.
Still a collar and elbow.
If it's a heated matchup, why does it start with a collar and elbow tie up? What's the worst example of that, and why is it Triple H Orton at WrestleMania 25?
No, that was the exact. As soon as you said what's the worst example, I thought Orton and Triple H at WrestleMania 25.
It's the worst.
It's the absolute worst one. Macho does like a kind of like a stun gun, but it's not really a stun gun. It's like he kind of just like guillotines Honky.
Yeah, he jumps over the top rope, but he's holding Honky by the back of the neck, and they lands him on the top rope.
Yeah, because Macho Man loves jumping all the way down to the floor
when he does not need to, when it is unnecessary.
Walking must have been difficult for him in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Macho starts arguing with Jimmy Hart, and Honky just blasts him in from behind.
Yeah.
Snapmare, middle rope, slow. Elbow drop, very slow. I've never seen someone fall so slowly. Honky starts going after Elizabeth, like coming on to her.
I wrote that he was trying to rizz her up. The Honky Tonk Riz.
He's got negative Riz.
But he's cool. He's cocky. He's bad.
He's Fat Elvis. Savage attacks him, hits a flying axe handle from the top rope to the outside. Jimmy Hart should
also note, if you're fat, you can still have Riz.
Yeah, but not when you're a Fat Elvis impersonator.
Because the first thing I thought of was, I'm like, you can tell me that Dusty Rhodes doesn't have Riz?
No. But Dusty Rhodes isn't a Fat Elvis impersonator.
He's not, baby. He's Dusty Rhodes.
Who says a lot of misogynistic things.
That's true, baby. You got to stop the misogyny, baby.
Obviously, Dusty got Riz. He's got 3 kids.
You can't have no Riz and 3 kids.
Also, I think that was my best Dusty so far.
It was. You're really coming into your own. It's only taken 185 episodes.
Fuck off.
So Savage does hit that top rope axe handle. Savage with a roll up, but Jimmy puts Honky Tonk Man's foot on the ropes.
Yes, and then he pulls Savage to prevent a second pin. He does a top rope axe handle, and Jimmy pulls Honky's foot, and Savage just for a third time, and Savage just immediately grabs him and punches him out of the ring.
Just fucking clocks him.
Jimmy Hart is dead.
He's out cold. So Honky Tonk goes to ringside. He's trying to wake up Jimmy. The Hart Foundation, who are also, of course, managed by Jimmy Hart, arrive at ringside. This is Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. Savage has Honky Tonk in the ring, choking him on the top rope with his knee. Hart Foundation literally pick up the corpse of Jimmy Hart and are just walking it around.
And Honky Tonk Man just goes with them. He literally pauses the match.
Just takes a pause. I didn't know he had the opportunity.
Count. They're not counting.
Well, who's the referee in this match?
Is it Crooked Dave?
It's Earl.
Oh, this one's Earl?
I believe it's Earl.
Dave shows up in one of these.
Or no, would it be?
Dave shows up in one of these. I know that.
True. It's one of the Hebners is there. So Savage is up top on the turnbuckle.
Oh, it is Dave.
Oh, so it's Dave. He's just waiting for the Hart Foundation and Honky Tonk to come back. They come back after the commercial break. Savage immediately continues to be in control of Honky Tonk Man. Does not matter. Standing elbow drop. Elbows in the corner. Honky Tonk does get a little bit of offense. He hits what I loosely put as a spine buster, but is really a 2-leg takedown.
Yeah, it was a double leg. Also, right after the pause, Peacock had an ad for me. It was for the new Exorcist movie.
There's another Exorcist movie?
Oh, yeah. It's called Exorcist Believer. It stars Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, okay.
It looks like shit. And it compared to Saw 10, which is getting very good reviews. It's like 84% or whatever on, I don't know if it's their Rotten Tomato score or their audience score, but it's up there. Exorcist Believer is in the 30s.
If you want a good Leslie Odom Jr. performance, go watch One Night in Miami.
Or Hamilton.
Well, I mean, if you knew him after Hamilton, because he eats as Burr. He eats
the whole goddamn leg of that damn turkey.
If you got to be any role in Hamilton, what role would you want?
The king. It's not. I will never question it. It's the king.
It's the king.
I get 3 songs. I get to fucking be a clown and give everything for those 3 songs, and then I'm out.
And then I'm out. I'm out this bitch.
And that's it.
Savage gets tossed to the outside. This is after Honky Tonk hits a snapmare. He gets hit with a back body drop, a vertical suplex for a 2, and then Savage is tossed to the outside. The Hart Foundation attacks Savage. They drop him throat first on the guardrail. Honky Tonk is distracting Dave. We get a standing elbow drop by Honky Tonk Man. Savage still kicks out. Scoop again by Savage up top. Does hit the big elbow drop. We get to see a Savage elbow drop. It looks fantastic. And Bret and Jim Neidhart break it up, and Savage wins by DQ.
Bret stomps on freaking Savage like Roddy stomped on Pete Dunne when he turned on him.
Yes, that's actually a very good comparison. That's exactly how it looks.
I only thought about it, one, because it's Pete Dunne, and I think about it quite often, but also because I saw it on Twitter the other day.
They beat the crap out of Savage, and then they go to crack a guitar. Like the Hart Foundation have Savage propped up, and Miss Elizabeth steps between.
The stalling, bro.
It's a lot. Miss Elizabeth steps between Honky Tonk Man and Savage, and Honky pushes Elizabeth to the ground, and then does like a little like hip swivel. What a bitch!
Yeah, and then he like stalls like a motherfucker, and he's stalling and he's stalling and he's stalling and he's pointing with at Savage, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you." And then he finally hits Savage with the guitar.
Elizabeth had gone to the back after being pushed down. Savage is hit with the guitar, like you said. Who does Elizabeth arrive with for backup? You can't see it.
It's Hogan!
You can't see it unless you're watching on YouTube, but Javier just did a spot-on Hogan coming out to save Savage impression. It's very good.
And anyways, he saves Hogan. He saves Savage.
It takes him a little. He gets his ass kicked for like...
Yeah, he gets jumped, but then
seconds.
He hulks up, cleans house. And then they do the infamous handshake, and the Mega Powers have formed.
I had no idea that Honky Tonk Man was a part of this very important moment.
Sure, man. I mean, he's a part of a few important moments. Like, I got to give the guy some credit in that regard. Like, he's a part of some very big moments in the history of professional wrestling.
Yes.
Between this moment right here, the title reign, and the end of the title reign, which we will get to shortly here, like 3 really huge things in the annals of pro wrestling.
Yeah, Honky has been involved in some very notable things, which, that's worth something.
And that takes us to our next match.
Well, it takes us to our break. When we get back, we are going to look at the end of the Honky Tonk Man's legendary IC title reign. Back from the break, originally, the opponent for Honky Tonk Man heading into the first ever SummerSlam was going to be Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who he had been feuding with previously. And the incident, so there was a thing where Beefcake was thrust into a feud instead with Outlaw Ron Bass after Bass committed a sneak attack on Beefcake. The incident was aired the weekend before SummerSlam. At the event, it was announced that a mystery opponent instead would be the opponent for Honky Tonk Man. So we're at SummerSlam 1988. It's the IC title match. And Honky's out there. He's looking cool, cocky, and bad.
Give me someone to wrestle. I don't care who it is.
Finkel literally does the and his opponent, and nobody shows up. Like, nobody had decided to be hey,
long wait.
The IC title, the second most important title in this company, against this buffoon, I should go out there and try to win it. So it takes a long time. Honky then grabs the mic and he says, "It doesn't matter who it is. Da da da. Who is it, Javier?"
And by the end of the song, the match is already over.
It's the Ultimate Warrior.
What is it? It's like, or whatever the frick the word.
I mean, that's a sound I assume he makes all the time. Like, that's just a sound Warrior makes. Ultimate Warrior music hits. The place goes absolutely bananas.
Sure, because the Warrior's over for some reason.
Here's the thing. I will say this all the time. I say this when people talk about old movies and well, this old movie sucks. I'm like, we were so starved for entertainment in the days. We didn't know. This guy, he runs to the ring and he's got muscles on top of muscles and he just looks insane.
What do you mean we didn't know? We knew.
Oh no, well, we knew growing up, but the older people, they didn't know.
Like there was Savage, there was Steamboat, fucking Hogan if you're into that.
He was a spectacle. A blur.
It wasn't even that fast. That's the worst part about that.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Ultimate Warrior is not fast.
I know. He's a big man who runs for some reason. He clearly doesn't run because he blows himself up just running to the ring.
That's why his matches only get to be 30 seconds long, because he blows himself up.
He fucks up in this match. So he runs out there.
Yep.
Right? He gets to the ring, stops, and then you see him realize, oh shit, I had to keep running to hit the ropes. So he goes and runs and hits the ropes. He hits the ropes. He then just hits the ropes for no goddamn reason, because all he does is catch a punch. And then he punches Honky Tonk Man. He starts doing his pumps. And then he fucking hits a running clothesline. More pumps. Scoop slam. The John Cena running shoulder tackle.
Yep.
Clothesline. Running splash. Ultimate Warrior wins the match.
His right hand clothesline thing sucked.
Bro, they suck so bad. This is the worst thing ever. Ultimate Warrior had a 2K, whatever the fuck those modes are, where you just kind of redo the history of the wrestler.
The 2K showcase.
Yeah, that. And watching that, I'm because I didn't fucking play it, obviously. Watching it, back when I used to watch those things on YouTube, it was better than the actual moments themselves, because they made it look cleaner, because they couldn't put his botches in a video game.
How many times do you think in the 184 episodes before this that Ultimate Warrior has shown up?
Macho Man.
That's one.
There's probably a WCW match where he was in.
There's not.
No? And I'm assuming there's a tag match or some shit that he's been in.
There's not.
Is it just Macho?
There's 2 other WrestleMania single matches. He had a match against...
Triple H.
Triple H is one.
Is there a Rougeau match in there?
You're so close. It's Rick Rude. Rude, WrestleMania 5. That match also shows up if you go back through the archives. There's a reason we don't cover Ultimate Warrior matches. It's because they're all like this and they're all bad.
They're not good. They're malo.
If you want us to do a deep dive into the Hogan Warrior match, we'll do it. But we'll do it for YouTube exclusively, and you'll have to tell us that you want it. So hit us up at Crossbody of Work on Twitter, on Instagram, all those places. Tell us that. We'll cover it. If you want us to suffer, essentially, we'll suffer for you. Javier's begging. He's begging for you not to do that. All right, our last match. So after losing the Intercontinental Championship, Honky Tonk Man was a little lost. He didn't really have anything to do, so he joined up with Greg Valentine and formed Rhythm and Blues. Rhythm and Blues. We've talked about Rhythm and Blues. I thought we'd covered them before, but we actually have never covered them. We have a match from WrestleMania 5 against the Hart Foundation. I don't think Javier likes this match very much.
Wow. Wow. You know how hard it is for me to not like a match that Bret Hart is in?
That's true. And honestly,
it's really hard.
Specifically, a Hart Foundation match. The Hart Foundation slap. They're so good.
Yeah, even Neidhart's good.
Neidhart's great.
But, the heels are on top for a lot of this match. And Greg the Hammer Valentine is just over the hill at this point. He's not as good as he was. No. We covered Greg the Hammer Valentine. He's a good wrestler. By this point, he's older. He's not in shape. He does not look good.
He's not very mobile.
And Honky Tonk Man is just dog water. I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, that's insulting to dog water.
I think that sometimes what happens when we cover these is we end up talking about the opponents more, depending on who the wrestler is. Yeah. There may be no wrestler that we've seen wrestle less in their matches, and these are Honky Tonk Man's most important matches. Obviously, his first one, we just tried to find anything from his indie, like from his kind of territory days.
Yeah.
These are his most important matches, and yet he barely wrestles within them.
We got more out of Mabel.
We got so much more out of Mabel. We'd get more out of Maven. Like
you're not wrong, brother. It's bad. The Hearts come out of the crowd like the fucking Shield for some reason.
Well, that was the WrestleMania 5 entranceway, which I did not realize. WrestleMania 5 is at Trump Plaza. Womp womp.
What was the main event? Is that the Mega Powers one?
Yes.
It has to be, right? Because Savage wins it at 4.
Yes, so that's the Mega Powers Explode. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So the Hearts come out of there like the Shield. Bret starts working Honky early on here. 2 atomic drops to the Honky Tonk Man. I think that's another reason why I'm upset is because Bret just does like funny spots.
Yeah.
He doesn't Bret it up. You know?
But there are random glimpses. Like Bret hits a beautiful dropkick at one point.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, Bret Hart. Like it was like a reprieve. I was like, oh my God, Bret Hart.
He does a backbreaker, but misses the middle rope elbow drop.
He does.
To I think Valentine. Honky and Hammer do corner shots to Bret in the corner.
Yeah.
It's yes, that's where the corner shots are.
Corner shots in the corner.
Hammer, it just starts choking Bret while the ref is distracted. Honky does the most impressive move he's done this entire time. He does a fireman carry suplex, which is a amateur wrestling move, but not really used in any other capacity.
Are you talking about the shake, rattle, and roll?
No, he literally does a fireman's carry suplex.
Oh yeah, he does do that. One thing I want to talk about is Neidhart gets in the ring at one point and bites Valentine on the forehead. And commentary, which is Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. Ventura on commentary says he can see the bite because he has 20/20 hearing, and I don't know why, but that made me laugh really hard. Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon are actually in peak form for commentary.
No, like Ventura has his moments. I do think that
really
Jesse Body Ventura has his like, because he's like the poorest of poor man's Bobby the Brain Heenan in like he plays the same role. He's
just not nearly as witty as Bobby is.
Yeah, it's like I said, the poorest of poor man's version of that. Like he's making 7 cents a month, you know? Whereas Bobby was a rich man.
7 cents a month.
That's how poor he is.
Elbow to the back of Bret's neck by Valentine, inverted atomic drop. And then Honky hits his finishing maneuver for the first and only time in any of these matches that we've covered.
It's the worst swinging neck breaker in the history of swinging neck breakers.
He swings back and forth a little bit because it's called the shake, rattle, and roll. And so
but he gets in there so deep, too. Like he's like in that, like he's like up to like their chest, pretty much is where he's holding these people.
Say it with your chest. Yeah, it's weird. And then commentary also makes a point of the fact that he hits his finishing maneuver and then just doesn't go for a pin.
Yeah, he tags in Hammer, who apparently tries to break Bret's leg.
He's going for a figure four leg lock, and instead it gets reversed. We did a stomach buster type move by Valentine. Bret hits a crossbody. Honky Tonk Man.
Gut buster?
He is gut buster. That's the word I'm looking for. Hot tag to Neidhart. Not a bad hot tag.
I do love Jim the Anvil Neidhart. We covered him, didn't we?
We covered the Hart Foundation.
We didn't cover Jimmy?
No, we could do a Jimmy singles at some point.
Well, I don't really want the WCW stuff. It's the problem with that one. He does some drop kicks to both men, which look really good. I mean, he's not a tall man, but he's a big dude.
He's a big boy.
He does some short clotheslines to Hammer. Honky breaks the pin. Bret does a body slam, hits the middle rope elbow drop. He does a perfect fucking suplex.
Yes.
Just an absolute perfect
gorgeous.
And then we get to the finish of the match. Jim starts chasing Jimmy Hart around the ringside, preventing him from using the megaphone. Jimmy lets go of the megaphone, so it gets into the ring as he's running away. Yep. Jim then turns around, grabs the megaphone, tosses it to Bret. Bret blasts Honky Tonk Man. Ref turns around, 1, 2, 3. The Hart Foundation wins.
I have a WrestleMania 5 fact for you, or more of a quiz.
God.
How many matches do you think are on this card?
Like 7.
14.
Jesus Christ.
It was
Tony Khan booked this pay-per-view?
That's exactly it. Like, we talk about how modern wrestling has a lot of matches on the card. 14 matches. This match happened 10th between a Jake Roberts Under the Giant match and the Rick Rude Ultimate Warrior match that we've covered on the Rick Rude episode where he beats Warrior for the IC title.
Yeah, this pay-per-view sucked.
There's nothing of note for it, except the thing that I would say is of note, and it's not even like a long or really important match, is that we do get Mr. Perfect versus the Blue Blazer, aka Owen Hart.
But how long is it?
It's like 5.5 minutes.
Didn't we?
We covered that match.
We covered that match. Okay. I remember it being kind of disappointing.
Owen was limited by the Blue Blazer gimmick, we think.
Yeah.
Speaking of being limited by the gimmick, all right, Honky wrapped up his WWF career with a stint as a pro heel commentator alongside Vince and Roddy Piper on Superstars before leaving in January 91. He was part of the UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation, and he was going to be the Honky Tonk Man, and then WWF sued about his likeness, so he did not get to be the Honky Tonk Man.
Why didn't he just make himself the
Tonka Truck Man or some shit? Yeah.
The fucking the Rhythm and Blues Man.
He also appeared in WCW in 1994. At Starrcade 94, he left the company due to a dispute with management. And in his book, Controversy Creates Cash, Eric Bischoff has said that his favorite firing of all time was Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk has responded by saying it was an honor, as Bischoff had fired many people in WCW until he got himself fired. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
That's a sick burn. I'm not going to hold you.
Honky Tonk Man returned to WWF in 1996. Do you remember what he did?
Wasn't he partners with Jeff Jarrett?
No, he was the manager of a young guy named Rockabilly, aka Billy Gunn. He made an appearance in the 98 Rumble, was eliminated by Vader, returned to the WWF for a one-night spot in 2001 at the 2001 Rumble, where he was eliminated by Kane.
Dear God.
It's
Billy. Wasn't he one of the legends that like fucked up Heath Slater at one point?
He was also doing sporadic appearances. He made an appearance on Old School Raw March 4th, 2013. He hit Heath Slater over the head with a guitar when he was part of 3MB. He also, this is funny, he was offered a spot in the Hall of Fame in 2010, I think it was, and declined, but then in 2019 was inducted into the Hall of Fame by Jimmy Hart. So in 2010, they're like, you want to be in the Hall of Fame? And he just was like, no.
I wonder what changed.
It's a great question. I don't know.
Hey, time heals all wounds or whatever the fuck.
What did you think diving into the career of the Honky Tonk Man?
Dog water, taboo, buy, tomatoes. No, not good. Listen, man. Decent enough at getting heat. Turned a gimmick that had absolutely no business being used in any real capacity and got not just a record-breaking IC title reign, but an IC title reign. He managed to turn that into a singles championship. And obviously that's worth something. That means that the company also had trust in him to be able to be in that spot, which is just, always a good thing for the most part. He's just not very good. Like, he just was not that good of a wrestler. And I can't say that the gimmick handcuffed him because it really didn't.
The gimmick was the thing that got him in the door.
Yeah, like, it really didn't handcuff him in the ring either. Like, you just weren't that good guy. I
think the matches we have, being paired with really good in-ring opponents helps him tremendously. Savage, Steamboat, Hart.
Except it didn't.
He still because his thing is sometimes if you get paired with a good opponent, you look better. Sometimes when you get paired with an opponent, the match is bearable. This was the second.
Sure. I just look. I don't want to completely bury the guy here, even though I am. Because I do think that there's absolutely something good to be said about turning that gimmick into something.
Yes.
However, he just wasn't that good. Like, if you give that position to, like, I don't even know, someone like more talented, both in the ring and probably on the microphone, because although we didn't get to hear him talk very much, there's probably a reason for it. I think that they could have done a little better. Maybe you give that to like a, I don't know, fucking like Road Dog or something. Probably knocks this shit out of the park.
Yeah.
Or guy like, just someone who's a really good talker probably takes this and fucking kills it. If you're watching on the YouTubes, my light just turned out. Battery's dead.
The light turned out on the Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, this was what I thought it was going to be. Like, I knew what the Honky Tonk Man gimmick was. I knew about the IC title reign. I knew there were weirdly some people who were salty about the idea of Gunther passing him, and I'm like, why? Gunther is like an absolute fucking wrestling phenom.
This is the best title reign, like, in a very long time.
It's the best title reign going currently by far, and I don't care that Roman has been champion since the Obama administration. I don't care.
Like, who's the U.S. champion? Is it Ray? It's Ray.
It's Ray.
It's like, it's better than both women's champions. I mean, Rhea's been handcuffed by the lack of star power in her division. And Io just got it. So
Yeah.
I can't say anything about her.
Dominic just got the belt back from Trick.
Okay, but that's like a minor league title. Elia's
matters.
just started. So I can't say anything about
I'm
her.
so excited to drag it. I love Carmelo Hayes, but fuck if that match wasn't fantastic.
Do love Ilya Dragunov a little more though. Trick Daddy deserved a longer title reign. They've absolutely screwed my guy.
But they needed to. I like the idea of Mommy was like, "Hey, either come home with the title or don't come home at all." And Dom's like, "Oh shit."
It's like, oh shit, even though she was just in Australia with her fiance for the last week or two.
I still need my meal ticket. Yeah. Gunther's reign is great. Honky Tonk Man's reign, not so much. But my God, if he didn't put on matches against, like, he had so many good opponents during his reign. It's crazy when you think about the amount of people. Like, he also, I appreciate that you threw the cat up on the screen. Hello to the kitty cat. Other opponents that we didn't cover that he fought: Billy Jack Haynes, Bruno Sammartino, George the Animal Steel.
Who?
He had a match against Bruno Sammartino for the IC title and managed to get himself disqualified.
Bruno was still wrestling in the 80s?
I guess so.
Like, deep in the 80s?
Deep in the 80s. All right.
Shocking.
You should follow us on social media if you're not already. You should hit us up on Instagram, on Twitter, at Crossbody of Work. Definitely go onto the Instagram because that's where we post all of our very fun reels, whether that is wrestling content that we make or shit posts that we come up with at like 2 a.m. They're very fun. You should come.
Evan means him.
It is me. It is me who does them, but they're great.
I woke up to a "go fuck yourself" meme.
Yes, thank you, Christian Cage, for that. You should also be sure to follow us on YouTube for a lot more extra content. We do extra videos there every Wednesday, as well. All the videos of the podcast air there as well. Like I said, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. Please join us. Javier will tell you where to find him on social media right now.
I'm on the Twitter machine at JMelloSports. Sauce the boy a follow.
You can follow me as well at It's7Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. FullPressShop.com. Cop the merch, support the boys. Get your t-shirts before WrestleMania season. We're only 6 months away, baby. It's almost WrestleMania time, and I'd say once every 3 days, it dawns me again that I'm going to WrestleMania. That we're going to be at WrestleMania, and I just go, and I get very excited.
All right, Ron Swanson.
Seriously, that's pretty much how I react. FullPressWrestling.com for all of the links for this week's matches. I know we shit on them for most of it, but also all links to all of our other episodes. If you had to recommend an episode we've done recently to watch, I
enjoyed the Sandman episode, to be honest.
The Sandman episode had some really good matches. Also, Savio Vega had some fun matches. So any of our recent ones, go do that. Speaking of our episodes, our next episode is a Javier pick. I'm fucking very excited for this. Norio Tatento and Itsuki Yamazaki, the Jumping Bomb Angels. In 1 or 2 sentences, for those who do not know who the Jumping Bomb Angels are, how would you describe them?
They were. Oh, sorry. How would I describe them?
Yeah. Like, just who were they?
Ahead of their time. They're two Japanese women who came over to the U.S. They were the last women's tag team champions before the titles were dropped. It's kind of their fault for why the titles were dropped. But anyways, just really talented wrestlers. I'm really excited to dive in more. I think I've only seen like maybe one or two of their matches, to be honest. So I'm hoping, we're able to pull out a good episode, because after the Honky Tonk Man, I need it.
We need some in-ring quality. Thank you so much for joining us this week. It's now time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, it involves pictures, specifically
pictures,
memories.
Memories.
I went to my mom's house yesterday with my girlfriend, and we were looking at like old baby pictures and like pictures from like the olden years, even pre me being alive.
Yeah.
And like, it really, just looking at a lot of it, I got a little sentimental and all this other stuff. My mom was getting sentimental and all this other stuff. And like, I'm just like, damn, like this is like a really cool thing to have. I even took a couple of the pictures. I'm gonna like surprise my dad with one of them because I know he'd really like it. And it's just like this massive bag full of photos, like physical photos and stuff. And I'm like, damn, like this is so cool that my dad did this, because my dad would, like, for the second my brother was born, he just started taking pictures of everything.
Yeah.
Everything, even like completely unnecessary things. Just started photographing and documenting everything up until like a certain age. And then, it's really cool to have those things and look back on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember that trip to Six Flags. Like I remember that trip to wherever. It's like, just if you're listening to this, just like, it's so much easier nowadays to take pictures. Like, you don't need a disposable camera or to go to your local Walgreens or CVS or whatever to get them done up. So just, go. If you're ever on a trip, with family especially, like, it was really cool. I got to see my grandfather, my mom's father, who passed away a few years ago.
Another thing to add, ask your family members for old photos, and you also like scan or take copies of those photos too, because then you have them. And just for a little treat for our YouTube listeners, I recently was over at my mom's. She found some old photos of me. I will throw this up on the screen just for our YouTube listeners. Just a little school age Evan for you to see.
I wish I knew this was happening. I would have brought the pictures over. I would have showed you little school age Javier.
But no, for some reason I'm dressed like a waiter, but that's fine.
And if you go on vacation, take a picture. Take family pictures. Don't be those people that take pictures of like the Eiffel Tower without you being in front of it. That's weird. You don't need that.
It's weird, bro.
Like, I always thought vacation photos were dumb. Like, if you're taking pictures of like the scenery, because it's like, you go to Italy. Oh, let me take a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Bro, just Google it. I promise you the picture on Google will be better than the one you take.
Somebody has come up with a better photo than you will take.
Like, be in front of it. Be in the photo. And then it has a value to it, to you personally.
It's also one of my favorite pieces of advice for like teenagers is, I know that you hate the world and know you don't want anyone to take your photo. Let your parents take photos of you. Just let them. Just let them.
There's like a 5-year gap in my life where I have like maybe a picture or two of me.
I will say I did burn all the photos from when I had hair down to my shoulders in middle school. Those don't exist anymore.
Oh, I gotta talk to your mom.
They're gone for a good reason. All right, speaking of gone, we're out. Thanks for joining us this week as we talked about the honkiest of tonky men. We will be back next week to talk about the Jumping Bomb Angels. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you then.